This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with a daily wrestling news update for you. I posted the clip of this on this channel and it's in the description. A fat, short fan, I guess tonight, went after Seth Rollins with a double leg on Raw and was able to take him down fairly easily. He probably could have done a lot more damage had several referees and security officials not jumped in and saved Seth Rollins from the attack. So glad to see Seth wasn't hurt, but it's pretty sad when this guy's supposed to be a numerous time world champion, making numerous millions a year, and he doesn't even know how to properly defend a double leg attack. You never wrap both hands under a guy's arm like that. You control the head, you hook the arm, and you sprawl. So he doesn't even know basic wrestling, which is just unfortunate. If it had been Bill Watts' territory, he would have been fired when he's backstage. Same with Eddie Graham. Someone pointed out to me that was actually the same arena, the Barclays Center, where the Bret Hart attack occurred at the Hall of Fame for Jim Neidhart's induction. Probably the most famous induction of all time. And if anyone knows whatever happened to that Bret Hart attacker, please tell me, because I've looked it up and there's only information about him having upcoming trials. I've seen nothing about if the charges were dropped or what, but it doesn't look like he was ever sentenced to anything. So if anyone knows that, let me know. But WWE did make a statement about the Seth Rollins takedown incident. They said this, quote, WWE takes the safety of its performers very seriously. The individual who attacked Seth Rollins has been turned over to the NYPD and will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law, end quote. So again, this is similar to what they said about the Bret Hart attacker, but I don't see anything where the Bret Hart attacker was actually prosecuted to the full extent of the law. So if anyone has seen, if there was ever like a full prosecution and a trial and a sentence related to that, please let me know in the comments, because I would love to update everybody about that. But my research seems like that kind of went nowhere. Apparently, for the December 10th SmackDown in LA, they're doing buy one, get one free tickets for any section in the building. This was so exciting. I forgot to mention it in my Survivor Series review last night. Vince McMahon had an egg from The Rock's movie that's on Netflix that I will watch and do a review of. But Vince had a gimmick last night where he had this egg from the movie and somebody stole it. And they were kind of hinting during the Survivor Series last night that maybe The Rock's going to appear, because they kept bringing up that it was like his 25th anniversary and so forth. And like, it was like alluding to possibly make fans think that maybe somehow The Rock will appear on the pay-per-view with the egg. But in the end, I guess on Raw, it was Austin Theory that had the egg. And yes, I'll say it again, that was my first pay-per-view that I watched last night, and the review is up on this channel. I hadn't seen one legit since 2001. I've rewatched old ones from the 80s and 90s, but I just haven't seen a new one. And because it had been so long, I didn't mind it. So I'll definitely do more reviews as time goes on. But I do admit, had I been watching pay-per-views every month for like the past 20 years, I probably would have had a different opinion on it. But everything was very fresh to me. But by far, the two most enjoyable matches were the Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, although I did not like Becky Lynch's leg slapping. I did notice Roman Reigns does not do leg slapping. So he won points with me for that. I already liked him. The girls team elimination was my second favorite, and even though I don't like Big E, the Roman Reigns was my third because I like Roman Reigns. The others were pretty much even. Nothing really stood out of them for me. Speaking of The Rock, NBC and E announced that Dwayne The Rock Johnson will receive the People's Champion Award at the 2021 People's Choice Awards on December 7th. He's also nominated for 3 other awards at this year's event. Also, tomorrow night at 6 p.m., where I guess, yeah, we're almost crossing the time between tonight and tomorrow, but November 23rd at 6 p.m., Sam Houston, Jake the Snake's brother, who was part of the Dark Side of the Ring documentary, and he is a friend of mine, he'll be back doing a live fan Q&A. The Berserker's coming up, a bunch more coming up. I am moving December 1st, so I've been really busy, but I will get back on track with more of my own interviews. John Paz recently did a really good one with Scotty Riggs on this channel, though. I suggest people check it out. A long story short, wants me to interview Big Vito. Wouldn't be opposed to it. Would not be opposed to it. Chad, I actually thought it was Keith Lee at first, but Keith Lee is actually a bit taller than the fan that did the attack, and I do not believe it was a work, no. People find it funny. Hello, Cryon. I didn't actually watch Raw. I was at the gym during Raw tonight. John says Becky would have done better. I still don't get the whole man gimmick. I'm not a fan of that. Steve says, imagine if someone tried that with Dr. Death. He would have destroyed him. That was the most exciting thing to happen at Raw in a while, to be honest. I have not actually seen it, but like I do watch the highlights, and I found this very entertaining. Jay Kyle, yeah, Seth Rollins did get up and start shit talking after he was taken down when there was about 6 guys holding him, and that's very common in the bar industry when I was doing security. The guy that's being attacked will wait till the bouncers are holding on and then do that, or they'll wait till the damn cops show up. If it's like me as the bouncer throwing them out and they're begging for mercy or whatever, then the cops show up and suddenly they're shit talking you. Steven, he didn't come from backstage. He came from the right side of the arena. So if you've ever been to a wrestling event, there's like a space behind the entrance and the fans where a fan could jump the barricade like this guy probably did towards the back of the entrance and run around towards the aisle. He didn't come out of the backstage area. He didn't come out of the wrestling entrance. And the guy was like 5 foot with a massive beer gut on him. I mean, he may have had a gut the size of Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens is at least about 5'10", maybe 5'9" without his boots on. Mike is missing Piper. Piper's down here. You want to say hello, Piper? Oh, Mike wants to see you. Piper is tired. She does not. It's already like -3 here tonight. So she's tired. She does not like the cold weather. I don't know what the fan was about. I don't know what the fan was upset about. Someone mentioned that Seth got Goldberg speared. There's a lot of wrestlers that have the spear as the finish. Too many. Chad, the cameraman, it was a fan cell phone camera. It wasn't shot with a real camera. Best fan entrance ever. There actually used to be more fan interferences in wrestling in WWE shows. I remember even here in Ottawa, It happened a bunch of times where fans would jump the barricades at WWE shows. There was one, it was actually a TV taping here, June 2nd, 1992. Mr. Perfect was managing Ric Flair, and a fan jumped the barricades and went to attack Mr. Perfect, but Mr. Perfect handled the situation real well. The fan, like Perfect was able to control the fan, and then the security came in and took the fan away. But I can remember when I was a kid, fans interfering at WWE shows. Back then, they would come here like 4 times a year, and at least one or two of those times, there would be a fan jump the railings and run into the ring. Christopher Ming. They're really reaching now, trying to get people to shows with the 2-for-1. John, I don't think a fan attack would go too well with the Blood Hunter. First of all, he's a more menacing presence than Seth Rollins. And second of all, he's a very violent individual, both in and out of the ring. So I actually think Blood Hunter would want to get attacked in a lot of ways. Williams says a lot of promoters in the old days would tell their guys if they ever got in a fight and lost, don't bother coming back. Chad said the guy's probably already bonded out. Brandon says they had the Brett case dropped. I don't know, but I never saw a trial from my research. Never, ever saw that. Lots of fan comments. Jim checking in from Calgary. Why do I dislike Big E? Because he was very rude to me when I met him. The day that I met him, he refused to do an interview with me. Booker T did an interview with me, who's a much bigger star, much more talented individual. Ricochet did an interview with me. Tully Blanchard did an interview with me. Stan Hansen did an interview with me. I was like the official person documenting the Iowa Hall of Fame that year, and Big E just sat there. No, I don't want to do it. No, sorry. I would love to beat him up. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I would love to beat him up. I don't like comedy wrestlers. I don't like wrestlers that wear yellow. And why don't I like them? Look at the ratings. They've just a couple of weeks ago, they hit the lowest rated Raw of all time, like 0.39. Terrible numbers worse than during the pandemic when there was no fans. So numbers talk. Carlos hates Big E's gimmick as well. Pierre believes I would beat up Keith Lee. Keith Lee likes to whine about almost being raped. I'm sorry, and I'll probably get heat for this, but what kind of man whines about almost being raped? I'm sorry. I'm real sorry about that, but I don't call that a man. Especially a guy, however big he is, 400 pounds, 350 pounds, trying to get sympathy by saying he was almost raped during the speaking out movement. Give me a break. Long story short, yes, throwing objects at wrestlers. Well, that still happens. That actually still happens. Believe it or not. Jimmy checking in from Ohio. JJ agrees with me. Booker T is much more talented than Big E. And like, as I said, I saw the match with Roman Reigns and Big E. People agree with me here. He's a joke as the champion. I mean, I don't care if people are gay or not. I just don't find him entertaining. I mean, Adrian Street had a gay gimmick, and I know for a fact he actually put his mouth around Bushwhacker Luke's dick. Luke told me that. It's on here. because like Luke was walking around in the dressing room and he put his dick in front of Adrian Street, and he said talking to the microphone, and then Adrian, I guess, put his mouth around Luke's dick in front of the dressing room. So, as I said, that's pretty weird behavior to a heterosexual person, but Adrian Street, I still have a lot of respect for, and I think he did the gay gimmick the best in wrestling. Everyone agrees with me that Booker T is way better than Big E, and all I can say is Booker T is great and way bigger star, and he was pleased to do an interview with me to help promote the cause that I was there for, to promote the awards. I just found this guy rude, and this was before he even got super famous. This was, I think, like before New Day, just before New Day. It was like 2016 perhaps. But I just found him very rude, especially considering I'm an actual wrestler. But yeah. Mike D, I was talking about Adrian Street, who I do have an interview with on this channel. People love Booker T on this channel. King Booker. I was actually there in Bakersfield working as an extra when they crowned Booker T champion, and like William Regal said, "All hail King Booker," like 100 times. And that was like a rib for the wrestlers in the back, because the wrestlers were all cracking up at the monitor. Yes, Sam, Adrian Street is legitimate. Very, very, very much legitimate. I don't think Billy Jack Haynes is deceased. No, he's back in Oregon living with someone. JJ, I also like WCW Booker T the best as well. I was a big fan of WCW Booker T. That's right about Drew McDonald or Drew McIntyre, whatever you want to call him. He's not a draw. Anyways, I appreciate all your comments and support. Have a great night. Oh, and tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, Sam Houston interview. Check it out. He's a great guy, very entertaining storyteller.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free